How's it people, Gecko here. It's been quite some time since I've done a video like this. As of recently I've felt encouraged to create another hybrid for the Jurassic World Hybrid Wars. This hybrid I'm about to create isn't meant to counter a specific hybrid, I'm just going with what works best for me, so in other words I'm winging it. Also, unlike my previous hybrid Mr. Ugly, this one I'm going to create won't be much of a meme hybrid. Also, since this is mostly sci-fi I won't be using much of real-world logic, but I'll try keeping it grounded as well. Before we start I'd like to make it clear that this is for pure fun, not serious competitiveness anyways. Without further ado, let's get on with it. For the base I'm going to use Saurosuchus DNA. I don't have a good reason for using it as base other than I just think it'd be cool and unique. Also, it'll have decent head defense as well. Saurosuchus might not be the biggest, most heavily armored creature, but I still have other things that might make this hybrid stand a decent chance. Also, I think having a steady quadrupedal stance might aid in combat, as having good balance and sturdiness may come a long way, as depending on the opponent, you're less likely to be knocked over. Next I'll be using the DNA of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This will give it a decent bone-crushing bite force and a bulky, robust head and neck area. Despite having Tyrannosaurus DNA, my hybrid won't have binocular vision because its eyes will be to the sides of its head, but I have planned for its eyes that I'll get into later. Not only would the Tyrannosaurus DNA give it a devastating bite and robust build, but it'll also give my hybrid a significant intelligence boost. Research has proven that Tyrannosaurus had good analytical and observation skills with intelligence comparable to that of a chimpanzee or a baboon. Though not as intelligent as the indominous Rex and Indom 2.0, it still have good enough intelligence to at least make wise combat and survival decisions. Next I'll be using the DNA of Miragaia longicolum. This will give my hybrid good defense and offense from behind. There's nothing more I can say about it, it's pretty straightforward. And now, like I said earlier, the plan for my hybrid's eyesight. For its eyes I'll be using the DNA of modern cattle to give my hybrid horizontal pupils. The benefits of having horizontal pupils is that my hybrid will have an almost all-round 360 degrees line of sight, specifically a 330 degree view, which will be appropriate for the approach I'm going for while constructing this hybrid. Next on the list of DNA for this hybrid I'll be using pangolins, specifically for the formation of its armor and the way it will form in, and not specifically for the material or density. This will at least be like a gateway to having armor on most of the body. Next I'll be using the DNA of Seismosaurus. One of the reasons is for its size and weight. This will give my hybrid a significant increase in sheer mass and scale, but size is not the only reason. Like most other sauropods, Seismosaurus likely had air sacs around its respiratory system to help make the creature lighter to support its own body weight. These air sacs will not only aid in support of the body but also make breathing more efficient, which is very useful for air traveling through the body of larger organisms. Last but certainly not least is the DNA of an Ankylosaurus to add on to the armor and tail. Along with how the pangolin DNA caused the armor to form, the Ankylosaurus DNA will give it a significant durability increase, and along with the Miragaia DNA the tail will be extra formidable. With the DNA of three creatures that likely used their tails for defense, its tail will be specialized for high speed, hard-hitting swings along with dense bony armor to prevent its tail from being dispatched. Now, before I reveal my creation, here's some extra aspects that will be a part of my hybrid. With the cattle DNA and activating dormant genes and increasing certain already existing genes within the body of my hybrid, I can give it the ability to create antibodies for most poisons, venom, diseases or parasites. And with the use of increasing the amount of iron molecules as well as calcium in the osteoderms in certain parts of the body, it'll allow the armor to have a significant strength increase. And now the moment you've probably been waiting for. Here is my hybrid. Novasuchus horridus. The name translates to fearsome Nova crocodile, and his given name is Hudson. My hybrid isn't built for speed or agility, but he makes up for that with his sheer size, defense, weaponry and intelligence. With jaws capable of crushing through bone and causing flesh or muscle to implode, as well as organs to rupture, he also has several inch thick armor on a massive percent of his body, including most of his skull, neck, dewlap, underbelly, appendages and tail. His tail is not only club-like, but it's also adorned with sharp protrusions. With the velocity at which he swings his tail, it will cause instantly devastating impact, and if it doesn't do major external damage, it will still cause internal major damage, and for poorly armored enemies they'll get torn through easily. His tail fat is also sponge-like to prevent self-damage. He also has air sacs that will allow easy oxygen flow through his body, which is good for his muscles and organs. Also, they'll allow him to move without problem, and naturally his bones will be built for his body type and weight, along with specially adapted musculature for movement and bodily functions. His legs will also allow for kicking and stomping with claws to cause extra damage. Anyways, that's just about all I have to say about Hudson, so now let me get on with the outro. I'd love to give a special thanks to @Manny4Life948. If it wasn't for your comment on my second hybrid war video, I wouldn't have had the encouragement or motivation to make a new hybrid for another several months, so thank you for the support, as well as to everyone else. Also, I've finally reached my milestone of 350 subs, so next I'm going to try reach 360 to 370 subs, as my ultimate goal of the year is to reach 500 subs, so if you're interested, please consider checking out some of my other videos and leave some likes, so I can reach 500 subs before the end of the year. Anyways, that's it for the video. If you made it this far, put a little lightning emoji in your comment. Stay cool and have a good one. Peace, the Gexter is out.